Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we got John Lennon, Imagine 1971, and I am definitely excited to get into this song because I love great music, and I already know that this is going to be a great song. So with that being said, what's smoking on my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty, greats, overachieving, never slacking. If you've been paying attention in the world, then you've been seeing the topic of dragons have been coming up a lot, and that's all I'm going to say. But with that being said, if I didn't already say it, original link in the description. Let's do it.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. Nowhere below us, above an all sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It's easy hard to do. Know that the cure on that phone and no relation to. Imagine all the people living light and peace. You may say I'm dreaming, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday we join us and the world is still one. Imagine there's conversations. I wonder if you can know that for grief I've hunger, a brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people shedding eye the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday we join us and the world is this one.
I hear you, John Lennon. I hear you. I like to play it to the end just in case there's any surprises. I really respect, the old school, older music, even though to some people they're saying oldies or old school, but being born in '93 for me, this is old school, 1971. But I like to, play it to the end. I don't like to speak throughout the music. I like to give the ultimate respect to these artists, and this was right up my alley. I hear you, John Lennon. You were speaking of that golden age. You was speaking of that golden age. You was implanting that into the subconscious of the people. I hear you very loudly and clear. You said, imagine. Y'all seen me typing. I was pulling up the lyrics. You said, imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. And in a way, that's also saying, like, stop living in fear, because day to day, people, they use the heaven and hell concept to put to push that fear onto the people, and also to control them. Like, oh, if you want to get in heaven, you donate to me. donate to this organization. If you, oh, you're gonna go to hell if you don't come here every week, or and then there's people, oh, this is the only true religion, and it's so much separation through these different belief systems, right? Imagine all the people living for today, talking about living in the present moment. The present is a present. So he's talking about just having gratitude. The true way to finding happiness is having gratitude for what you already have. There's so many people that I personally know that they have a lot of stuff. Like, I'm talking like hoarders. Those people that just hoard stuff. And to me, that's like a control issue. That's like something in the subconscious where you want to control things. So you hoarding stuff that you don't even use. You just hoard it, and you're not even grateful for it. You just want more, and you just want more. And to me, that creates a block in your life, right? Because somewhere in you is some type of insecurity that's scared to let go of things. So the way that plays out in the subconscious, on a conscious level, is you hoard things, you want to control things, you're scared to let go, and when you start to let go, when you start to clean these things out your house, or even just heal yourself, all the clutter within, I feel like that's when you get the blessings, when you clear out the junk. So, but in order to even be on that level, to not be thinking ahead so you can always think you want more, you have to have gratitude for the things you already have. It's people who have won in life with way less than what I have, or what someone watching this may have in life. It's people who still won. It's people who they live in horrible communities, right? But in buildings that are just in poverty, but inside their apartment, it looks like a paradise, because there's heaven within, there's heaven inside, and eventually, if they can attracts other opportunity. But there's people that they don't even want to leave those places, because they're like, listen, I'm good. This is where my grandmama was, my mama was. But there's people that there's angels amongst what we would consider hell, because they have gratitude. They appreciate every moment. They appreciate the presence. They wake up and they're thinking about today. Sure, it's good to have to think about longevity. Of course. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do nothing stupid. But you have to appreciate the moment. There's too many people who they have a lot and they still feel like they don't have enough. And that comes from being ungrateful. You got to have gratitude for what you have. So I could dive deep into that all day. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. Come on. He's speaking, like I said, he's speaking of that golden age. He's saying, listen, forget your pride over here. Forget your pride over here. Imagine all that's gone. We already got everything we need. Remember, I just spoke about gratitude. We got hot springs, cold springs, all these natural jacuzzis that Mother Earth, aka Gaia, has already given us. We have forests. We have animals galore. We have everything around us. We're just not connecting. We're too busy beefing. We're too busy trying to claim territory, stealing, cheating, lying, killing, greed. Like, come on. The whole world is a resource. We don't have to enslave each other. We don't have to look down on each other. We don't have to do that, right? We don't have to. This is what John Lennon was saying, man. Here go that sweat. That heat catching up to me. And I just worked out, too. You just work out and you shower, and then it's like, oh, my body's, I don't know, it's just sweat. But imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of men. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. So basically saying, I hope one day you'll rise above that low frequency, that root chakra level frequency of just survival mode, and start to realize, you've been taught a lie. You've been indoctrinated in a lot of things. Your parents, that just because your parents lived a certain way, taught you a certain way, and their parents, and that don't mean they was right. You might be that one in the family that came to think different, to break that generational karma and break that curse. Seriously, you might be been the one. If you take this message on a deeper level, then yeah, more than likely you is that one, and probably that's more than likely why you was a black sheep in your life. So I connected a lot to John Lennon's spirit when I worked in Lincoln Square in New York City. This was like about 7 years ago. I worked there, and the Dakota was right around the corner from where I was working at. Retail out there is crazy. Every day was like a Black Friday, but that's another story. So after work, and it was fall time too, my favorite season. So I would walk over by the Dakota, and anyone that's been by the Dakota, it's got like flames that's kind of always burning. And I would just always think, as that's where John Lennon, rest in power to John Lennon, but that's where he lost his life at. He was shot at in front of. And I would just go and I would just look, and also that's where the Rosemary Babies movie was shot. So me being a fan of those classics, I would just go and walk past there, walking down the street, go to Central Park, walk through that, get on the train. But I would always look at the Dakota. It was always pretty mesmerizing, just knowing the history and knowing what, like I said, the Rosemary Baby movie that was shot there, knowing about John Lennon, his history. But I would definitely connect a lot with his spirit. He was talking about that golden age coming soon, man. So with that being said, don't be on a low frequency. Don't get too caught up in the world. Yeah, I report on news, I report on certain things, but I always got an important message for those that's listening. But with that being said, original link in the description. If you enjoy this reaction, definitely don't hesitate to hit that like, that subscribe, or that notification bell, and rest in power to John Lennon.